Good morning. If you've been following along with my blog this month, we've been talking a lot about the abdominal muscle tissue, and I wanted to come on to follow up and talk a little bit about the transverse abdominis. So if you didn't read the post, go back and read it, or go back to my last Instagram post so you can actually swipe and see what that muscle looks like. But the transverse abdominis is our deepest abdominal muscle. It starts on our back and it wraps all the way around. And why that's important is that it gives stability to our lumbar spine and our pelvis. So it's really the only muscle that's wrapping around and holding that pelvic brim in place. So I wanted to just really briefly come on and show what an appropriate transverse abdominis contraction looks like, and then what an inappropriate one is, because a lot of times we compensate or we're not really sure what an appropriate transverse abdominis, or TA for short, contraction looks like. So I'm going to do this on my back, and once I get down here, I want you to take a moment to look at my low back. So this is kind of an exaggerated arch, right? But if I find my neutral spine, my low back is not pushing down onto the ground. There's a little bit of space there. And so that TA wraps around our abdomen, and when it contracts like a drawstring. So I'll take my breath in, and then as I exhale, I'm going to draw my navel to my spine, and the pressure comes gently off my waistband, but what you're not seeing is movement of my lumbar spine. So I'm going to try that one more time. Big breath comes up and in, and as I exhale, my navel draws into spine, and you'll see that my pelvis didn't move. I didn't flatten my back to the ground, and my rib cage didn't move. So one more time, watch my pelvis, watch my rib cage, and watch my low back. There's really not a lot of movement there. Good. So now what would happen if I overdid it? So obliques love to help do the work, and what you'll really see when somebody overdoes it with their obliques is that their ribs will really knit down and in. So one more time, this is an overuse of my obliques. You might have noticed that I had a little bit of movement downward, and I've actually still got a little bit of that there. Now, the other thing that we tend to do is actually use our rectus abdominis and posteriorly tilt our pelvis. So watch what that would look like if we overdid that here. So I've kind of hollowed out, but I'm actually getting into obliques and rectus abdominis there, and that's overdoing it. And why that's important is that we want to be able to actually isolate the TA. And if you're getting into those compensatory movements, you're not getting to the root of the problem. And with a lot of people, TA weakness and motor planning issues with the TA coordination deficits, we'll say, instead of motor planning, is the backbone for a lot of pelvic floor dysfunction. It's forms the basis of a lot of low back pain and even hip pain. So hopefully that gives a little bit of feedback in terms of the TA. If you're having a hard time contracting it, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd love to give you some assistance with that. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.